Hey everyone, Mariska here. Today I'm going to show you a race I just finished on MyWhoosh. I can honestly say it was one of the best races of my life, or at least the best in the last 18 months. We'll go through the most memorable moments together and analyze my performance, understanding where I managed to stand out, and what made this race so special. For those who are new to the channel, we always start with a warm-up before the race, preparing the body for the effort. But for those who have been following this journey, I'll skip ahead and go straight to the most important parts of the race. Just to give you some context, yesterday I did a 70 kilometers cross-country ride with the group in one of my favorite places to cycle. So for today's race, I thought those 70 kilometers would take their toll, that my legs would be heavy and tired. But to my surprise, I woke up feeling great, full of energy, ready to face another race on MyWhoosh and share everything with you. And now, thanks to the magic of editing, while I still have a few minutes of warm-up left, for you only a few seconds have passed, and the race is already starting. As usual, seconds before the start I increased the load on the bike. 360 watts, 380, 415. Pushing hard. The start, as I've explained in other videos, is the most important moment. I need to stay in the draft of the fastest riders, so I can save energy while reaching a much higher speed. And look at this. Right at the beginning I'm already averaging 440 watts. That's way beyond what I can sustain for the whole race. But it's exactly this initial effort that keeps me in the front group's draft. Even though I'm spending a lot of energy early on, I can take advantage of the higher speed without having to lead. The key here is to stay in the draft as long as possible. I don't want to lead at all, because we're riding against the wind and I'm already giving 110% just to keep up. My heart rate is already at 170 beats per minute, with my max being 190. That means I'm close to my limit right from the start. Now we're in a group of 11 riders, and the question in my head is, who else here is at their limit, and who's just playing around? The hint is, probably, I'm the one being played with. Another important detail. Look at my cadence. In previous videos it usually stays between 85 and 95 RPM. A more comfortable range, where I can generate power without too much strain. But here I'm above 100 RPM, which makes my heart race even more. On the other hand, this higher cadence helps avoid lactic acid buildup, that burning sensation from intense exercise. And it gives me the advantage of responding quickly if the group tries to attack or break away. This circuit is completely flat, and that changes the dynamics of the race. Without climbs or distance, the focus is on keeping constant power and maximizing the draft. On flat terrain, my extra weight actually becomes an advantage. Each watt translates more directly into speed, unlike in climbs where every extra kilo is a penalty. It's all about endurance, cadence, and positioning. And on flat courses, any distraction can make you lose the draft, forcing you to spend much more energy to catch up. Every pedal stroke matters. Every decision has a direct impact on the result. We're only halfway through the first lap, and my heart rate is already close to 180. That means in less than 3 minutes I'm almost at my maximum. It feels like constant pressure. Every pedal stroke takes more than it should, and I know it's nearly impossible to keep this pace for long. This is when the mind works as hard as the body. I need to decide whether to keep pushing to stay with the group or ease off to avoid blowing up too early. It's a delicate balance between strategy and survival. Now let's fast forward to the start of the second lap, where things get more intense. The app seems to have a small bug, skipping from lap 1 straight to lap 3, but we'll keep following normally. So far it's only been 6 kilometers, and I'm still with the front group. The first lap averaged 326 watts, which is already significant. For context, my FTP is 290, so I'm riding about 12% above what would be sustainable in a normal training day. That shows the difference between training alone and racing in a group. In competition, motivation and the need to keep up push you to extract more from your body than you thought possible. Of course, you can't hold that forever. But it's interesting how the competitive environment raises performance. The group starts to stretch out, and I almost lose the draft. That's always critical, because if the gap grows too much, air resistance forces you to spend far more energy to catch up. My legs are heavy, and it feels like I won't make it. With a huge effort I managed to get back on the wheel, but it cost me over 400 watts just to stay in. That shows how every second of distraction can be costly. Losing the draft basically means racing alone against the wind. Hydration also plays a big role during intense effort. Body temperature rises quickly and dehydration sets in before you even notice. When that happens, heart rate climbs, fatigue comes earlier, and power drops. A few sips of water at the right time make all the difference in sustaining the pace. Now let's jump to lap 3. We closed lap 2 with 320 watts, showing the pace drop compared to lap 1. Lap 3 is usually decisive, no longer the explosive start, but not yet the final sprint. Consistency is everything here. Maintaining power, cadence, and positioning. But my biggest fear becomes reality. I have no legs left. Every pedal stroke feels twice as heavy. I had been dreaming of a final sprint, but it's clear that won't happen. The group shows who was just controlling the pace and who was already at the limit. Some riders can still accelerate easily, while others, like me, are at the absolute edge. That's common in intense races. At the start, everyone looks strong, but as kilometers go by, the body reveals who has reserves and who's exhausted. At this point, my race is simply to hang on with my English friend. The group stretches out. Many lose the draft, and we try to use the slingshot effect to gain speed and fight for positions. But he's not at 100% either. We managed to reach a small group with some stragglers, moving up to positions. Still, There are 3.5 kilometers left, and this final stretch is decisive. Small differences in pace can decide who holds position and who drops off. Even exhausted, my average for lap 3 climbs back to 322-323 watts. That shows that despite the fatigue, I'm still giving more than 100%. My heart rate is consistently above 190, the body completely at the limit. With nothing left to give, I still try a final sprint, more to test my limits than for strategy. In the end, I'm very happy. For the first time I finished 6th overall out of 60 participants. This is my best placement on MyWhoosh so far, showing clear progress since I started racing. More than just the number, it proves the effort was worth it. After such a tough race, I do 10 minutes of easy spinning. This light recovery ride helps flush out lactic acid, improves circulation, and prepares the body for the next day. And to close with a golden key, the game shows a 5% FTP increase. That confirms my first challenge of 2026, breaking past the 300W mark. Now it's time to keep training for the next goal, reaching 3W kg. And what about you? Do you have a personal challenge for this year? Share it in the comments. I'd love to know. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That helps a lot for those of us just starting out. See you next time.